Ladies and gentlemen, members and friends, it's me, Matt Bailey, the National Ambassador, Branch Director, all-round busybody of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society here in Australia. This is a really exciting live stream. We're going live with, of course, Matt Wooler, a bloke you've seen many times online, in person, and now you're going to see regularly at our newest partner in Sydney. That noise is actually my phone telling me I've gone live. So that's really handy that my phone's making noises whilst I'm going live, telling me that I'm going live. That's what we call liveception. I'm going to bring Matt Wooler in because this is a chance for us to talk about Captain's Balcony, for us to talk about the mid-month releases coming out through the June Outturn this month. So welcome to the stream, Matt Wooler. Here he is. Here he is. Got him.
Hey, how are you?
Good to have you. And
welcome.
I can hear people enjoying themselves in the background already.
Yes. Of course, the bar's open. Vivid's on at the moment. There's a lot of people around. Not necessarily that many in the bars at the moment, but definitely, there's a bit of action going on. And it's Wednesday night, so this is where I am. So I thought, what, if we're going to chat, I might as well chat from here.
Yeah. Well, this is a chance for us to chat through the mid-month releases in Outturn and have a look at what's available on the bar at Captain's Balcony. So before we kick off, can you tell us Captain's Balcony? Can you tell us a bit about it? Down the scroll at the bottom there, it says 46 Erskine Street, Sydney. What is it? Tell us, all the members, what it is.
Okay. So Captain's Balcony's been around a few years now. I think 7 years. Akash took it over or purchased it ages back, changed the name, reset the whole place. And it is a whiskey bar. It's always been a whiskey bar. A lot of lunch menu type things going on as well. But at night time, it's effectively upstairs, downstairs. Whiskey bar action. So that's sort of the focus.
Just action.
Just action. It's a matter of I don't know how else to I guess explain it. It recently became a partner bar. I've done work with Captain's Balcony many times in the past. Lots of events, lots of tasting events, including sort of like events that have actually featured society here. But it's a difficult task to actually become a partner bar. It's got to be in the right situation, the right location, right opportunity, and effectively working with Akash. It's like jumping straight in and not looking at the problems that other partner bars have, because they don't. But the priority here is, of course, putting society up front. And one of our core things that we want to do is every month run an Outturn tasting. Not only that, the bottles are on the bar to try until they run dry every single month. So
you to try until they run dry. You're a poet and you don't know it. Yeah. This is great. This is so exciting.
Exactly.
It's like, so just for those watching along, Captain's Balcony at 46 Erskine Street, they're going to be getting the whole Outturn at the moment every month.
Yes, whole Outturn, less whether there's situations where
a couple of maybe
things
rum
might
or
not
gin
fit.
or something, but
things might not fit.
Yeah.
So we did our first tasting a couple of weeks ago, only a couple of weeks after we became a partner bar, and that sold out in 2 days. So we've just sort of activated the next round of tasting coming up this month for the Outturn. Hopefully we'll see you at the tasting. You'll come up to be part of the action if you can.
Now I'm just going to,
and then from there,
I'm just going to let everyone know. I'm going to post a link right now into the stream, which everyone can see here. This is actually the link to the July preview. There it is, just in the stream there. So you can all catch that if you want to catch that, of course. Just check out the ticketing for this is being done through Eventbrite, through Captain's Balcony. It's not through the society. I just want to make that really clear, just to those who have been who are rushing the website now. If you go to the society events page, you can find the event there. There's a link through to that Eventbrite, so you can catch up with it.
Yeah. So yes, partner bar, but the events are run by us or run by Captain's Balcony, run by me, and not that it's any different to any other sort of tasting that happens, but of course, we choose the situation, we choose the whiskies, so to speak, and it's all part of the society experience. It's just that ticketing goes through the venue versus society, but all the same benefits that you get from any other sort of situation.
Cool. Okay. Well,
society.
Now, there's 3 whiskies actually that we've got tonight to pick through.
Yep.
I'm just going to bring them up. Just bear with me. I'm just so I don't have
No,
a
that's right.
tech
I'm
melt.
just mucking around here because I want to share what we're doing here right now through Captain's Balcony page on Facebook, and it gives me no option to actually create a new post. It's gone. There is no thing.
Right.
It's really odd. Really odd.
Well, that's the thing.
Anyway.
Well, there's
right.
there's the outturn for those playing along at home. That one is that's the June outturn that's out right now, and most of that was on the bar at Captain's Balcony already.
Absolutely was.
Yeah, and some of it's already getting pretty heavily hit, I'd say as well, which is great. I'm just going to drop us down to the lower half here for a second, so I can show everyone the 3 drams that we're actually tasting through this evening together, and we're going to have a chat about each one and as we go along. So we've got a 26.181, the light gets in the sweet, fruity, and mellow profile. A 44.143, good traditional fare in the deep, rich, and dried fruits. And 3.326 On Guard, which is a really exciting whiskey, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But let's start with the light gets in, shall we?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's oh, what just happened? Sorry. There we go. Done. So the light gets in. Now, yep, there we go. So we actually had these bottles somewhat on restriction at first because we had our outturn tasting, and well, these are what, for lack of coining a term, mid-turn bottles. They're the ones that are coming out through the month. Coming out through the month.
Yep.
So 26.181. The light gets in.
Yep.
It's got a very fragrant nose to it. Very floral, I guess you can say.
I've poured mine a little bit early. I'll just bring up the bottles here. We can see it. There's my bottle. The light gets in. My autofocus is not playing game with me today, but there it is. I'll show it up on screen. It might make a bit more sense than me just showing it.
Yep.
There it is. Wooly, if you've got it there, I'll bring up your screen. So if you want to hold that bottle up for me.
Hey, here we go.
There it is. The light gets in. Your autofocus is playing ball today. Mine isn't. I think I've got mine switched off. There you go. That's what it looks like. 26.181. It's 175. It's a 7-year-old first fill bourbon barrel, a Highland whiskey, 63.5%. So really bang up there in proof. But very much one of those whiskeys that members love, and they know the 26s. There's a certain charm about the 26s. This one, I get that sort of like, it's that classic sort of waxy, estery sort of.
Yeah, it's got some prickle on the front of it. Oh my goodness! Really fresh though.
Very fresh.
Got to take your time with that.
Yeah.
Oh, some nice heat in the chest. It's sometimes I miss that. Like some whiskeys just don't deliver it. But this is great for a cold night.
Yeah.
Very good for a cold night. Very, very warming.
I went to a tasting last night actually where most of the whiskeys were in that sort of 25 to 30-year-old range. And and a huge part of me was like, while I'm really enjoying this, there's something about when whiskeys that get that old, they sometimes miss that distillate character a bit.
Yep.
It's just gotten a bit rowdy in the other room.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, someone's playing with the audio. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
No, we're all good. Sometimes when whiskeys get that old, though, we sort of miss that. You miss that distillate a bit.
You miss the youth of it.
Yeah, the distillate character
shows I guess that early nature of the whiskey. And some people, they always want to go, well, I only drink X age type thing because that's the only way to drink whiskey. But whiskey, it changes continuously as it's aged, and distilleries and let's say SMWS have to choose when they feel it's going to be the right opportunity, because society could leave this for another 10 years. It could become a 17-year-old. But in that period of transition, we lose all this brightness and this sparkliness and this crispness that can come from the youth in a whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. That one's growing on me though.
So when is this one released? This one is released next week. Is that correct? What's the release date on the Light
So
Gets
let's
In?
bring
Which
up
week?
I'll bring up that screen again so we can see it. Where are we? So we can see on the screen there, week 3 release 17th of June. So we've still got another sort of couple of weeks. Well, not a couple of weeks, like next Friday. So not this Friday, but the one after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so still a week and a
All
half
right.
away before we even see a hint of this appearing.
Well, you can definitely come down the captain's balcony and try it. It's open for opportunity. So yeah, it's we were serving it first on flights until the outturn actually happened, because we want people to not to focus on too far in the future, because it is unusual, I guess you could say, for partner bars to be displaying these type of whiskeys so early in comparison to their release.
Yep.
But yeah, come on down and try it any day. And I guess that goes back to something that I was sort of going to mention earlier, is that when we run these events, we normally will embargo the Outturn whiskies until the event is run here, which is like 26 odd people we can seat max.
Yep.
The moment those bottles get open and the tasting starts, if by chance you've missed a ticket, you can start ordering them at the bar anyway to taste them. Of course, you lose that experience of opportunity. And for these ones, you could definitely try them that night, but we had sort of restricted them at first for a little while. But,
Right.
they're all here now for you to try.
Yeah. Okay. So they're on the bar. In case that's what that question was coming through on the stream there. Where are the SMWS bottles? Downstairs in the bar. Like go and say hello. And there's a whole cube of them already there.
Yeah, we aren't locking them away out the back, and they're not up high. And in fact, I don't have an image of it here, but we have a massive menu on the wall that is just focused on society bottles, and thus you can see what is available at this time. Pricing between 15 mil and 30 mil. So if you want to tasters, and then for those that are, maybe know some friends or something like that are interested in society, we in fact are launching a Discover Society flight that's specifically tailored for those that just want to explore and find out what it is without, jumping massively into the deep end, which you usually find that anyone that does jump into the deep end of society are in very, very deep, very, very quick.
Yeah.
They usually don't turn around. So, but it's that's what's going on there. So yeah, they're not hidden away. You'll know what's going on. You'll see them up front.
Yep.
And if by chance something dearly does depart from the bar, the bottle goes, we'll make a marker on it to make sure that you're not being confused as to what's going on.
Well, look, I think that 26.181 is a really, I dare say, almost stereotypically waxy, delightful, spirit-driven Highland whiskey from a distillery that I know our members love. Is an integral part of Johnny Walker. It's an integral part of Diageo's stable, but in this case, it's a delightful single cask, and I think it's one of those ones that you would sleep on at your own risk. I think because it's one of those. It's just delightful.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and this is not necessarily this flavor profile is not necessarily one that I go for in society.
Right.
It's
okay.
not.
It is one that I go for. Yeah, it's definitely one that I go for.
The high level of sweetness that comes in it isn't really too in my bag, so to speak. The spicy and dry is normally something I'm very trusting of, but this one's got a lot of character to it. It's got a lot of variables in the palate, and as you sort of said earlier, I get it's got I wouldn't say waxy. I would say it's a little bit more gluey or something going on in the palate there. It's got a really nice dryness to it, and it's very, very fresh.
Very citric, very light citric fruits and.
Yep, you can definitely taste alcohol in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to number 2?
Taste the spirit. Let's do it.
Shall we move on to number 2? Bring that up here. Now, before we move on to number 2, there is actually one more release we're not trying today, but worth mentioning, which is also part of the weekly releases, which I'll just bring up on screen here. Dancing to the Rhythm is again another sleeper, a 14-year-old 7.263. It's a week 2 release, so that means this Friday. So that one's coming out this Friday. But however, what we're tasting tonight is also 44.143, a week 2 release, also this Friday. Good traditional fare. 44.143. It's a Speyside. It's a Speyside whiskey that had 15 years in an ex-bourbon hogshead, and then was transferred to a STR Oloroso barrique. Now let's just talk about that cask type for a second. So that means first fill. So it's a first fill STR barrique. The first time it's been used, it's an STR, which means shaved toast rechar, a technique pioneered by Dr. Jim Swan in terms of cask rejuvenation. Barrique is a fancy French word for barrel, and this is unusual though because Oloroso seasoned. So it's the Oloroso seasoned wine cask finish.
Yep.
Very weird, very different. Let's have a nose of this. Now, this distillery 44 is known for its meaty and pineapple chunk notes. It's that cured meats, pineapple chunks in a tin, sulfuric spirit, but in a really good way. It's a really enjoyable sulfuric spirit, if that makes sense.
Sulfur is definitely there. Pineapple's there. It's like a toasted or grilled pineapples getting to the bit where they're almost caramelized.
Yeah, grilled pineapples.
That moment, and they're hot. It's like hot pineapple sort of flavor.
Yep.
Perfect burger drink. I think this one.
Burger drink. Wow.
Yeah. Go with a good burger with a nice chicken burger with a big piece of pineapple on it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grilled pineapple, of course.
Grilled pineapple. Yeah, yeah.
Might have one of those after this.
And we're talking about a real crispy buttermilk sort of chicken, aren't we? Like, fried chicken burger. Yeah. Okay, good.
Oh my goodness. That has got some weight on the mouth. That is super oily.
It's very big. I reckon this is one of those whiskeys.
Oh, yeah.
If we have a read of that tasting note right at the top there, it says it's a fascinating struggle between old school meaty spirit and the cask maturation, like cooking a beef filet mignon with a garlic and big and colorful braised beef cheeks, pear and bitter chocolate, tempura fritters, meaty, gamey, oily, and a tiny bit of garlic. I couldn't agree more with these.
Gamey and oily.
Yeah.
Garlic. Yeah, I would say that. I'd say the smell, the smell of garlic, the smell of a sort of like a host of garlics all hanging together. Is that a term? Host of garlics?
Yeah.
Host.
That can work.
It is now. But that, not that I'd say it's rejuvenation, but that second cask, I think, is first fill. Obviously, it is dumping a hell of a lot of that sherry character into it. It's not syrupy, it's not like a single cask first fill, but the influence is bloody obvious. That's for sure. For I guess you could say Andrew Durbage's commentary. Look at that color, and it definitely has color to it. Big, deep, and again, you're seeing that now in noting even something that I talk to people about with this bottle as it is like they always ask, what does final cask mean? And the first thing they say is it a finish? And I'm like, well, the technical terms now that we have to follow is that if it was under 3 years, it would be classified a finish. But now that it goes over that for the second cask, it can then be recognized as a final cask. So it's no longer classified finish.
Well, we generally say like an additional maturation. Yeah.
And so you can assume that out of these 17 years, at least 3 of those years, if not more, have seen the first fill Oloroso. Chances are probably more. But it's not something that kisses Oloroso and then gets written off as a finish. It is definitely not a marketing quote that is put onto this label. It is obvious. It is very, no.
Look, there's some things the society is very good at, and that's cask management, wood policy, playing around with spirit and making it work. We're not very good at the marketing side. Marketing side is the hell. So we leave that for the big companies to look after. But we like focusing on good spirit instead.
But the ester is really obvious. In fact, the ester elements that are coming out of this, you could easily say you would see the same sort of things coming from rums type things and society rums. That element. There's no rum influence going on here, but that's the nature of the distillery. That's the nature of 44.
Yeah, you could confuse it for a rum almost. You could, like, if you presented it blind, it could almost be like almost like a sherry cask rum, because it's so meaty and estery, but it's
blind nosing. That's what it could be. And in fact, maybe we should do that. Just do an entire society nosing event. So you don't get to drink anything.
I don't know, man. I mean, I reckon that's going to be a tough sell. Whiskey there's no whiskey drinking happening.
It'll certainly send us broke. The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, the Scotch Malt Nosing Society.
Yeah, Nosing Society. Yeah. It sounds like a lot of whiskey being poured down a sink later as well. It's like, what do we do with all these leftover samples, all the glasses? Oh, they've all been nosed.
I would say out of the, let's say, combine this with the Outturn.
Yeah.
There's one other bottle in the Outturn that I think would compete with this on that characteristic, and that is the Dirty Martinis that was released the other day. That thing has waxiness and chewiness in the palate. Anyone that got that, that's the sleeper. That's the one that, we saw a lot of people tasting, and we didn't get as many hands up as what's your favorite, but out of the tasting, it was like everyone was like, well, I'm going to pick another favorite. But then later, when you heard the chatter, everyone's talking about the Dirty Martini. And it was just like
there's something about those 8-year-old, those 8-year-old, 9-year-old 93s we get through. They're evolving beasts. Like, you let them sit in a glass for 10, 20, 30 minutes, and they turn into different whiskies.
It was very cool. We've still got, I think we're down to about a third of a bottle of that now. It's almost gone.
That's been his
how many are on? Is there any on Outturn still? Any left?
It'd be less than a handful. I'd have to double check, but I'm just having a quick look now. I don't reckon. Yeah. There's two left.
Want that,
two left right now, folks, of that whiskey. Two.
If you want that sort of island feel without the island in it, if you want that Atlantic blast of the sea air plus the brininess, plus the oiliness, and all those other characteristics, that thing is, it's one you would probably buy, and then maybe a couple of years later, once you actually find it in amongst all your other bottles that you have and you open it up, you'll be like, no, isn't that
the best thing ever? Isn't that the best thing ever when that happens? Like, I know you do that. I know I do that. And I'm sure many other members do, where you pick up, say, 2 or 3 bottles or something in an Outturn, and it's like, yeah, cool. And there's one you're really excited by, and you open that and enjoy it. And then there's a second one that you're really excited by that you open like a month later or 2 months later. But then there's like the third one or something that you tuck away and you're like, oh yeah, I'll come back to that. I'm really excited by that one, but I can sit on it for a while. And then you completely forget about it. And you come, and it's like 3, 5, 6 years later, opening a cupboard, it's like, what the hell is this? Where did this come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's always fun.
You open
that's always
it, it's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have that I ever purchased from Society, which is
I think we've lost Matt Wooler just briefly, folks. We'll hopefully we'll get him back. I'm just going to drop him out for a second. This is the nature of streaming on the fly. Streaming on the fly, I guess, if you like, using the internet of a venue that you don't completely know. We'll try and get him back in a moment. The one whiskey we've just been talking about, for those who are still watching along, and I really appreciate you watching, we're broadcasting live. Matt Wooler is broadcasting live from the Captain's Balcony, a newest partner bar in Sydney. And I'll see if I can just bring him back in. Here he is. Here he is.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, bit of an internet hiccup there. It's all good. Well, I think he's back. He said he's back.
Yeah, I was.
Oh. No, his internet's dropped out yet again. I'm going to try and see if I can bring him back in just a moment, because he said he was just back. Don't you love it when that happens? I think I'm dwindling in viewers here because of this, but that's okay. These things happen. Technical issues happen. This is the nature of doing live streams. I'm going to try and bring Matt Wooler back in. He's dropped out a couple of times. We'll see if I can bring him back in. We're just talking about 44.143. In fact, we're talking about how whiskeys you tuck away into your cupboard and then find again. Matt, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back with you. I'm back here.
Rock and roll.
I don't know. I bet it's the internet says it's all good.
Yeah, no, all good. It's all good. It's just dropped out a couple of times here.
We'll blame the wind. We'll blame the wind.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Sydney wind. Yeah.
I've poured myself the next whiskey. I was waiting.
Let's go for number three. Let's go for number three, and that's that's On Guard. Oh, you know what? Okay, I know we've had quite a few 17-year-old threes lately, but that's been a godsend. I've got to say, like it's just like that. We had a long period. For those who have been members for more than a few years, will remember that we had a long period without a single three in sight, like nothing. We had heaps about 2015, 2016. We got a bunch through, and then we waited like 17, 18, 19, 20, pretty much up to 21, like almost like a 4 or 5 year hiatus of seeing threes come through. And now we're getting a really steady supply of amazing threes coming through again. So I'm not going to complain about this at all. And this one is actually a really interesting story behind this. I'm going to bring up the screen for it. Here it is, 3.326. Now, it's also a week 3 release, 17th of June, so Friday, a week from now. 42 bottles available, extra matured, which means it's had more than 3 years, just over 3 years, in a ex-Guianese rum barrel. And I'll just zoom in here in case you can't see it on the screen. There we go. I'll bring up Matt's screen there. There's the bottle. And I'm just going to maximize the other screen for a moment. And you can see here, I'll just zoom in Outturn. We actually, like I said in an Outturn I think it was May Outturn, I said we need to do better at sort of communicating some of the really cool sort of minor details here and there. Like the fact that this is actually from XR 2.13. So the rum cask we've used for this whiskey is actually from an ex-Society rum cask. It's very exciting. So it's actually our own wood policy again, back and forth.
Yeah. So you just bought, well, not inert spirit, but you just bought a big plastic barrel of number 3, and then dumped it into your own barrel. The real thing, bit.
It was a 14-year-old 3 that we've put into our own ex rum cask. Yeah.
That's got some rubber notes on the nose. Not dirty rubber, but it's like
very like natural, like rubber bark kind of note.
Yeah.
It's sweet though. There's a sweetness to it. I wasn't ready for.
That is totally different to the nose.
The palate is different, isn't it?
The peatiness is, the smokiness, but it is peated. We know it's peat. It's not just smoke, it's peat. It's layered, but it's actually somewhat in the background as well. It's not assaulting your palate with ash and all that type of business. I mean, that's very typical of 3s anyway. They're not an ashy spirit. They normally get those bacony flavors and all that type of stuff going on. But this is very different. The nose has gone much more nutty now since I've had the taste. It's lost a lot of that rubberiness.
Rubberiness. Rubber notes. We can just say rubber notes.
Rubber notes. That's right. Rubber notes.
Now that word
more
sounds
latex
weird.
than rubber.
Doesn't even sound like a real word anymore.
But that's got an oiliness to it as well.
Yeah, but it's definitely well matured. Does that make sense? It's really well matured. It's held up really nicely.
Yep. I'd wager though that against the OBs, you can discover the DNA of this. You can still see the DNA that's typical. And a lot of 3s that do come through don't necessarily perform as what the sort of the obese display, which is that's the whole point of society anyway.
Yep.
But you can certainly see something going on. There's a oily smoke about it.
I'll be the first to admit. I'll be the first to admit when we do get some codes through that they sometimes taste a bit like sort of like car strength versions of what you often find, but then you get some codes through like the 3s that are like so far removed from the core range. They're so far away from house style in a really good way though.
Yep.
Like they're fascinating. They're interesting.
That's and I think that's a Glen. I can't use that. No, I can't say it. Sorry, I'll find the code.
It's like the Glen something.
Oh, I know the distillery, but I shouldn't say it. Can I say it?
You can say it.
Okay. The Society Glenmurrays are nothing.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Ever.
That's the best example.
Never ever like the obese ever. But this is almost like me opening a new Masters of the Universe back in 1982, 1983, and I pop that packet, and I've got that new Masters of He-Man.
Oh right, yeah.
He-Man smell.
So you almost get like a fresh
bit of the plastiness,
like fresh tennis balls kind of smell as well.
Yeah, not quite tennis balls, but yeah, it's certainly there's a plastic in this that comes from it, which I have to say must be the Guianese rum. It's got to be. But
so it's almost like that estery nail polishy kind of note that you get out of some rums.
Almost, but not that assaulting. You know, they can be really assaulting sometimes, but
they're so good, aren't they? How good is that style of rum? That style of rum for me is just like, I don't know. I love that kind of stuff though. It's like it's so full on. They're so in your face.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. That's cool. that is a very alternative 3. Absolutely, that's a very alternative 3.
Yep.
And even though it's still classified, hang on, because I've got to check the color. Is this falling into the heavily peated or peated?
No, this is peated. This is in the peated profile.
Okay. Yep. And you can almost I reckon you could almost throw this into the lightly peated from that perspective, because there's so many other layers and profiles happening in this. It's not about smoke at all. But not sure from the ppm that would be. Well, do you actually calculate, or does society calculate lightly peated, heavily peated, just peated based on ppm, or that's a totally ignored?
No, it's totally ignored.
It's totally ignored about what it displays.
It's such a simplistic and useless measurement for peat. I would say it's and by the way, we only ever use ppm as it's literally one distillery that uses it as a sort of a marketing tool to tell you how peated their whiskey is. So if it's only one distillery, but the whole industry doesn't really follow that trend, and it's very much like it's like it ignores all the sort of guaiacol and and iacol, sort of like the other elements that create the flavors of peating in a whiskey, and it ignores all that for a second, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's what does that mean? I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't think we need to sort of. It's a bit of a silly sort of focus point in a way, because
that's why I brought it up, just because I don't think it's actually. I hear people in society say it sometimes. They start talking about ppm, and it's like, does it really matter?
So if like ppm is like this one layer, and then beneath that you've got the phenols, cresols, guaiacol, 4-ethyl, 4-methyl, and 4-ethyl guaiacol. So you've got and each one provides a different aspect of peating flavors to whiskey. Like some are phenolic, some are musty, some are burnt smoke, some are cloves, some are bacon. It's like, if you take I don't know, it's one of those things where if you just measure on ppm, it's like it doesn't give you the full story of what peat is in a whiskey. And I think it's disingenuous. And if people go, oh, this is not 45 versus 55 ppm. I've tasted whiskeys that are literally like 220 ppm that taste as peaty or even less than 55 ppm, because different phenolic compounds are being used. And it's like, and it's one of those sort of misconceptions, I think, that there's no point playing into it. We just play with flavor rather than technical.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. All good. That's all good.
Praculia,
Well,
I'm sorry you're
let me
late, but we're also just finishing up. We wanted to clock in about 30 minutes, and we've just gone a bit over, and we've just tasted the third dram. But you are welcome to tune into this later. It's just a quick look through 3 of the upcoming June Outturn releases that are now available by the dram.
Yes.
At Captain's
Yes.
Balcony. So really,
Yes.
Sydney members, New South Wales members, I urge you to make the trip to Captain's Balcony. They're right in the city. They're a 5-minute walk down the hill from Wynyard Station towards Barangaroo end. I'm sure you can probably get a ferry if you want and get off at Barangaroo, or get a train to Wynyard. You'd be able to do either or, and you're 5 minutes away either way, if that, in a walk.
Ferry. Yeah, I guess. Ferry?
There's a Barangaroo stop on the ferry line. Yeah.
There is a Barangaroo stop. Or if you just pull up in your super yacht,
If you
just
pull up in
let
your
me
super
know.
yacht,
And
of course, Captain's Balcony will look after you. They don't handle any.
Yeah, I'll bring the whiskey to you as long as I can stay on the yacht for a while. All good. All good. Super yacht.
Yeah, no, well, look, super yachts are also welcome. Matt Wooler is going to be at the bar on Wednesday evenings from about 6 till 10 each week. So if you want to learn a lot more about the society, I encourage you to drop in, say hello to Matt, and
we're not a late night bar. So we open at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we run through till 10 o'clock at night. Usually the kitchen will close by 9. There's a full kitchen running downstairs, things like that. So that's why I'm here from about 6 and talk society. I can talk other whiskies too, but I'm here to just talk rubbish with you if you like.
That's the best part. All right, well,
exactly.
I will. We'll catch you all soon. Thank you again, Matt, for taking half an hour out of your shift to have a chat with us this evening. And I will see you all soon. And Sanjava, and happy drinking, and dig into mid-month offers coming up these weeks.
And I think we'll do this again. In a few weeks' time again. We maybe reflect on the Outturn when it occurs, or reflect on the event. We'll definitely profile again the next mid-turn bottlings that are coming through, and have a bit of fun.
Rock and roll.
Wow. Sweet.
So we'll see you all soon. And
wow.
Take care. that's the. I've got an Owen Wilson. Wow, always programmed ready to
go. Wow.
And that was a 3.326.
Wow.
And drop into Captain's Balcony. They're our newest and greatest partner in Sydney. So well.
Greatest. Thank you.
Well, already
the greatest. You've said it. I'm getting a poster made now. I want a shirt. Thanks.
Yeah, shirt then poster. Thanks, folks. See you all soon.
No problem. Talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.